Hi guys, and welcome back to Afrobeats Unfiltered episode 6, where we'll be discussing the hottest topics in the world of Afrobeats. So let's just get straight into it. Burna Boy's London Stadium show on Saturday the 3rd of June. I had the honor of being there, and let me tell you what a show it was. Let's first start off with timings. The show organizers said that the DJs will be on from about 6:30. They said the show will end at 10 p.m. So from previous concerts I've been to, artists usually perform live for a maximum of 2 hours. So I'm thinking he should be on by 8 p.m. We get a good 2 hours. Show finishes at 10. Go home. Lovely day. It's 8 p.m. Burna Boy is nowhere to be seen, and he does have a mad reputation for always being late. 8:30 comes, still not here. I'm thinking there's no way this man can come on for 9 p.m. and give us 1 hour and then go home. I won't be satisfied. But he came on at 8:50 and he finished around 10:50. So he gave us our 2 hours that we was wanting and expecting, and he didn't disappoint. He did not disappoint. This is my first time actually seeing Burna Boy live in concert, like his own full show. I've seen him in various other places as a feature, but I haven't seen him just doing his thing, his own concert, his own live show. And what a place to do it at the London Stadium, which has a capacity of 80,000. Now let's get into that. So 80,000 is a big capacity. 80,000 people, when you think about that's a lot of people. And for an African artist to perform, 80,000 is a big deal. But let's just say it took a while for the venue to fill up, which is expected. Like people like to come on when they know he's about to perform. It generally got there. Like when you looked around, the stadium was filled. I mean, there was a couple of seats right like at the sides of the screens that were blacked out. I don't work in live events, but I'm just guessing they've done that because if you now bought a ticket for that seat, you won't be able to see the screens. So that's fair enough. But in also saying that, there's been a lot of misinformation on what the capacity actually was. Some news outlets have reported Burna Boy sold out to a capacity of 60,000, quite a few actually. And then we've all heard that it's 80,000. So, I mean, either or, the man sold out on the same day our Queen Bee Beyonce was performing in Tottenham, which is like a few miles away from the London Stadium. So either or, he's done well. The number doesn't really matter, but I feel like there's a bit of competition because obviously Wizkid, he's coming to London. He's also doing a stadium date. He's doing the Tottenham Hotspur stadium date, which has a capacity of 62,850, which is slightly smaller than 80k. So Burna Boy trumps him by saying, I've done 80k. Do you know what I mean? It's a historical moment. So I feel like there's a bit of competition. And I don't know if anybody remembers, but when Burna Boy announced he was doing a stadium date, a few days later, Wizkid announced he was doing a stadium date, and it was supposed to be in the same stadium. So they both were supposed to perform at the London Stadium, and Wizkid was meant to do it 2 days before Burna Boy was supposed to do it. But I think later on, obviously Wizkid's team probably thought it wasn't a good idea, so they changed it, and he's doing Tottenham Stadium, which is obviously iconic. Beyonce just did how much did she do? 5 nights over there. Anyway, I digress. Let's get back onto Burna Boy. Now let's move on to when Burna Boy finally does come on stage. Burna Boy finally comes on stage. Great staging. The color of the day was red. He has this sort of fun fairground kind of staging. and I'm just screaming. Like, I'm just screaming. He comes on, he looks fresh. Once again, I'm not a fashionista, but in general, I just do not like Burna Boy's fashion. I think he's too sexy to be dressing like he doesn't give a toss. He's too sexy for that. So he wore a red number. I think it was top and trouser. He wore that same number in Paris, but it was all black. So for us, for the London fans, he gave us red. So I would say the red was, yeah, I love the color of the day. The red was on fire. You could see him from a mile off. But the outfit, I didn't like the outfit. I know that's his personal style, but I don't like it. Next up, he did a clothes change. And next up, he wore like, I think it was like a leather fit. It was like a leather jacket and then leather trouser. And it was black and red. That also wasn't that nice. That could have been nice, but the jacket was giving very much boxy. He looked like a transformer. That's the kind of look he was giving. But anyway, it's fine because I can look past Burna Boy's dress sense and see the fineness. He's got a nice hairline, he's got nice teeth, nice skin. Like, he's a good looking man, dreads are neat, so I can look past the questionable fashion. The next up, let's talk about the special guest Burna Boy had. I mean, we were expecting him to have a special guest. You're in London, there's no way you can do this whole show by yourself. You need to be bringing out people. And he did not disappoint. First up, we had UK rapper Dave. He came out and they sang their hit Location. That was amazing to see live. Next up, he had the king of UK rap. Let me not say that too loud because I don't like to get into the UK politics. But number wise, he had up Stormzy. Stormzy is the king of England at this point. But he came out, they performed Own It and Real Life. That was so great to see them two both on stage. Then he had another rapper who's just coming back into the game. He's announced his album. He's got his single out there, J Huss, and they performed Play and Settle Down. That was great to see them both on stage. I was screaming. Lastly, he brought out the king of dancehall. I'm joking, he's not really the king of dancehall. But he brought out a dancehall artist. He brought out Popcorn. They sang their hit, Tony and Sing, which is from the Love the Mini album. And they're pretty light. They sang that song. That was good to see that live. Good to see Popcorn down here. I wonder what else he was here for, because they don't just fly out for each other's shows. But no, it was great to see them there. I was also screaming again. And something that was really nice that Burna Boy did during his show was he paid tribute to the late Muswahala, who is a Punjabi rapper. He sadly lost his life at only 28 years old. They had a recent collaboration. So it was Burna Boy Still Bangles featuring Muswahala called Mira Na. So that was nice of him to do that little tribute for him on stage and actually play the track out live.
Lights on, lights on. Feeling like I'm a girl. Lights, lights.
I mean, there's no bad points I can give you from this concert. Burna Boy is actually an entertainer, and before I went to see him, I've always heard that he is the best entertainer out of the three greats, you know, out of Wizkid, Davido. And I've seen Wizkid, I've seen Davido, so I was here to see Burna Boy. I was hyped. I was ready for him to give me performance, and he did not disappoint. He was giving performance. He was even on the drums doing a bit of drumming. Like, Burna Boy has immaculate energy. I'll give him that. He doesn't just stand still. He gives you energy. He's sweating, basically. He performs. He gives you your money's worth. He went back into time, giving Day One fans songs like to Party, Tonight, Okay. He played us his new track, which he released right before the concert, Top of the World, which is a sample of Brandy's track, Sitting on Top of the World. He played us that live. That was great to hear. I'm a fan of that track. I love a good sample that's done well. Did On the Low, Bank on It, 23, played our second sermon, which is Black Sheriff's track, gave us the popular track Jerusalema. Like, he gave us range, variety, but when we knew the show was almost ending was when he did his smash hit Yay. We was like, oh my god, the show is ending. He did Yay, and then of course he would have to finish off. This is probably the biggest song Burna Boy has had. last. He finished off with last. And we came back from that concert just feeling light. We felt on top of the world. It's a week later and I'm still like, wow, what a man. I will definitely be going to see him in concert over and over because I missed the Wembley. He did a Wembley Stadium in 2020, 2021. And I didn't go to that one. And that was a big show for him. So I was so happy that I didn't miss the chance to be part of history because Burna Boy made history regardless of what the numbers are. If it was 60K, if it was 80K, he did a stadium date for an African artist to do a stadium show within the UK is massive. And we have to give our props to Sir Burna Boy. So this is the perfect segue to get into something that happened, something that Davido said. It was on Thursday, the 8th of June, 2023. I even have to cite the date because this thing that he said, this is probably the worst thing Davido has ever said. And I know for a fact he does not believe this statement he came out and said. This is honestly the definition of waking up and just chatting shit. So Davido did an interview with Brut Afrique and he was talking about the Afrobeats scene, the space, the artists, etc. And then he went on to say that everybody knows that Wizkid and himself were the ones that really took. Actually, let me get it verbatim. Let me say what he said verbatim. David Adeleke went on a video and he came to say everybody knows that Wizkid and I were the first young artists to blow up, and it feels good seeing new cats like Burna Boy, Rema, Fireboy, Mayorkun, and Ashake really killing it now. As soon as that interview touched the internet, social media, everybody went mad. I mean, there's some people that agree with him, there's some people that disagree. I am the some people that disagree with him. There's no way in your right mind you can be calling Burna Boy a new cat. Do we know what a new cat means? A new cat means that you've come out into the scene the other day. The other day, as in the last year or the last 2 to 3 years, you've really been making noise. People are starting to hear about you. You've hit the peak. Your tracks are getting traction. You've got a track that solidified your career. Do we also hear the list he's putting Burna Boy within? You're naming names like Rema and Ashake, Mayorkun, Fireboy. Those are literally new cats. Those are legit new cats like CK and Omle. Those are new cats. How in your right mind can you put Burna Boy in that section? Some may argue that Burna Boy's biggest hit was Yay. Even that came out 5-6 years ago. That's not new cat. New cat is between the bracket of 2 to 3. I am telling you, when I saw that statement, I was like, nah, it's beef. It's clear they have beef. Davido does not like Burna Boy. I think they've had issues in the past. I'm not trying to start nothing, but they've had issues in the past when each other have dropped albums. I don't think Burna Boy supported Davido's new album, Timeless. I'm not sure if Burna Boy reached out when Davido lost his son, but I just feel like they really have beef, and I really feel like Davido doesn't even believe that statement that he just said. I feel like he wanted to stir up trouble. But anyway, that statement went mad all over socials. People agreeing, people disagreeing. But I know Burna Boy definitely saw that statement. As of yet, he hasn't actually come out and cussed off Davido, which I know Burna Boy wants to do. And you know what? Probably like 6 months down the line, Burna Boy will actually come out and cuss him off. And I also feel like that is a really brazen thing to say. A really brazen thing to call Burna Boy a new cat when he's literally just sold out a stadium in the UK a week ago. He's just come off a high, and now you have come to open up your mouth and say he's a new cat. Oh my god, that statement is even upsetting me. I don't even know how Burna Boy is feeling. One thing he did do was, I think later on that day in the evening, he just posted pictures of his show at the London Stadium. So I guess in itself, that's his response. But everybody else is speaking for Burna Boy. I know he doesn't need to defend himself. It's just a really brazen thing to say because Wizkid, Davido, and Burna Boy, they were all coming up at the same time. I get the argument where Burna Boy's biggest hit, you could probably say the hit that solidified his career was Yay. But even that, it didn't come out the other day. He's not a new cat. End of story. New cat, Davido, you must be insane. If you don't like Burna Boy, just come out and say you don't like him. Don't be doing things like this. To bar the fans speaking out for Burna Boy and defending him, his outsiders, that's what his fans are called. They've been defending him. Burna Boy's sister Nissy, she posted on her Instagram story of Burna Boy performing at the London Stadium, and the caption that she wrote was, "New cats, they face their hustle." Yeah? There's no way in your right mind you can be calling him a new cat after he's done stadium. Also, another person to come out and speak for Burna Boy was his video director, Adasa Kuki, who shot the video for Like to Party, which is honestly the video that put Burna Boy on the map. That's the video we recognize Burna from. He came out with that. It's still a big hit. People still remember it. You can still play it and we'll be singing it word for word. So he came out and he said, "I shot that video in 2012. Over a decade later, he's so relevant that he's a new cat." Basically saying, Davido, shut your mouth. I'm sorry. I love you, Davido. I love you, David. But on this occasion, shut your mouth. That new cat word, yeah, that new cat phrase, Davido, he ain't going to live that down. I don't even think he's going to apologize because later on Twitter, he just posted a link to his album. He said, "If everybody's going to be talking my name, let me just post a link to my album. Go stream it up." Okay, so let's take it down a notch and let's get on to the BET nominations for 2023. That was also announced later on that evening on Thursday, the 8th of June. There are a few African artists in that category. We have Burna Boy, we have Wizkid, we have Tems, of course. So we have 5 African artists nominated, which is amazing. We have Wizkid, Burna Boy, of course, Tems, Ira Star, and Ashake, all featured as nominations for the BET Awards, which is amazing because there was a previous award show where all we were getting was Wizkid, Tems, Wizkid, Tems, Burna Boy. Burna Boy, Tems, Wizkid. And it's like we have more African artists doing amazing things, so we want to see more names. I'm surprised not to see other names, maybe like Rema. Maybe they wanted to mix it up this time. What's hilarious is Burna Boy actually leads the BET nominations as the African artist with the most noms. He's got 4. So once again, people will be screaming new cat where. Lastly, let's move on to the new cat that was actually on Davido's list, who I actually do agree with is a new cat. He's also signed to Davido's label BMW 2.0. It's Mayorkun. He had his London show at the iconic KOKO on Sunday, June 4th, 2023, a day after Burna Boy's big stadium day. So I'm really upset that I dialed on this concert. This is a concert that you do not dial on. It was £27. Like I say, when African artists come over to the UK and they do like their first headlining shows, it's always at a reasonable price, good rates. But Mayorkun was not playing about. People paid £27 for their ticket and they got to see special guests like Davido, Fireboy, Jackie, Gibby, and Victoni for £27 British pounds.
Let's go. Martin. I'm not joking. I'm a music chose me. Just hold it. Hey, I love you. I see. I wait to believe. I didn't go by the sea. Yeah, nobody. I'm a danger lord. I don't go far. Everybody sing! Hallelujah, hallelujah, assassina, hallelujah, can you keep balancing? I give you paper. Cause there's nothing I can tell you for free. I'm a certified lord. Certified lord. Say 1, 2, 3, let's go! Thank you, Lord.
I am really upset I dialed on that. I really underestimated Mayorkun. Obviously, I know him from his track with Victoria, Holy Father. That was his big track. I haven't listened to her album. He's got an album called Mayor of Lagos. I'm not into him as such. He's also a singles artist for me, where if he has a single, I'll listen to. But I really dialed there because look at what I missed for £27. So that will teach me when these artists come over, if you like one song of theirs, just go and see them. Go and watch them. I always want to know that, like, I've followed them for years. I listen to all their albums. That's when I'm excited to go to their shows. But I've learnt my lesson. Right, guys, that's it for episode 6. We will be back next Monday for your latest, hottest, trending topics in the world of Afrobeat.